I was born and raised in Osaka, Japan. When I was a kid, I dreamed someday I go to other countries. Dream became desire, and it creased very deeply in my heart, just like origami. Origami? Ori means to fold, gami means paper. One fold make a straight, sharp crease. Every time when I fold, different shape emerge. The art of imagination. No? Boat? Use your imagination. What do you see? When you fold origami, it's not just a piece of paper anymore. It's something else. What do you see now? Mm-hmm. With the imagination, I've got a story to tell you. 昔々 long time ago, in Japan, high in the Fuji mountain, there was a tree that had never lost its leaves more than 1,000 years. Time has come. The tree deceased and lost its leaves. Cold winter came far beneath the snow. Leaves were waiting for the spring, and when the spring came, leaves became wings. They became butterfly as the earth was reborn. It's more than one piece of paper. Let's count together. 1, 2. That's too easy. Let's try Japanese word. 1. No. 1. 2. 3. Try to say that for me. 4. 5. 6. 6 million years ago in a massive universe. A planet was born. A tree grew on the planet. More trees grew. A flower blossomed. More flowers filled the planet with beauty. The sky embraced them all as one. Time passed. The wind blew. Something grew inside. Do you know what they are? Butterflies. Butterflies are the symbol of life. In the spring, they come and goes and come and goes. Show us the circle of life. Japanese say that if you fold 1,000 paper cranes, your wish is strong, sacred, and your wish would be granted by the spirit of the sky. the spirit of the sky. If I make 1,000 paper cranes, could you get my loved ones back? About 7 years ago, my mom, my uncle, and my husband, they died one after another. A big part of me died. After my husband's funeral, I lost my voice. I went to grocery store and I wanted to say thank you to the cashier. I had a breath without the vibration. It didn't make a sound. It didn't make a voice. That was so strange. I drove and went home. What's happening? I love singing in the shower. Te sovo la vita te telemota non po no telestravita. I don't know why I am singing Italian. I should try. I confirmed that I became mute. That's just so bizarre. And it really made me feel insecure. And I thought about what this could be. Is that psychological or what? But at the same time, I liked it. Now I don't have to explain how I feel and be careful not to say something really angry. I drive fast. And I got stopped by a young police officer. Open the window. And the police officer was just saying hello to me. And he said, well, why are you in a hurry? You are going 65 miles an hour for the road, 25 miles an hour limit. This recording is for the security and training purpose. You'll be recorded. Just wanted to let you know. I feel so good. You don't know how many cussing words a Japanese woman knows. It felt like so dark inside of me at the same time, and felt like I had the world without the sun. And this story comes from the ancient book of Kojiki, Amaterasu. Once upon a time, long, long time ago, more than 1,000 years ago, there were 808 deities on the islands of Japan. The mightiest deity was the sun deity. 7 colored lights to the world. The wildest is the tempest, Susanoo. That's her brother. Every time when he visits, it was storms everywhere. And she did not like this. And also, whenever he comes, he's going after something he wants, but usually something he cannot get. And then this time, I want the moon. I want the moon and the moon and the moon. I want to become king of the moon. The sister, if you are the mighty and all, make me king of the moon. She would not do that because the moon belonged to their father. They have their own way. They have a harmony that way. And when she ignored completely Susanoo, the tempest, her brother was so upset. Ow! I want to be a bear boy. Her favorite pony. He killed it, threw it to the rooftop of the Amaterasu, the sun deity's house. She was weaving 7-colored lights, and her pony fell through the rooftop, bent onto the room. Ah! She stormed up all the way to the basement, and she hid herself into a cave, pulled a boulder in her entryway completely. The world became the world without the sun. Nothing grows in the darkness. 800 deities came all to the shore, talked into her, performed a super ritual with the offering. Stags burned shoulder bone, kusanagi no tsurugi, the sacred sword to offer, and mitama, the pearl. The boulder entryway didn't move an inch. Uzume, a dancing beast, entered a frenzy, bearing her breast. Yoyasano, yoyasano, ha, 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 ha. Yoyasano, yoyasano, ho, 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 ho. Yoyasano, yoyasano, ha, 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 ha. Yoyasa, yoyasa, ho, 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 ho. Yoyasano, SaraSolo, ha, 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Yoyasano, yoyasa, yoyasano, yoyasa. Everybody singing and screaming, and it became a big party in the cave. Yoyasano, yoyasano, yoyasano. The sun deity felt so strange. They should be sad and then quiet, and then why they are singing? She wanted to see what's going on. And when she opened it, the deities just ran to her and placed the sacred mirror right in front of her. And she saw herself in the mirror. What a beauty. And the deities pulled the mirror. And she came out completely from the cave. The deities grabbed the sacred giant robe and put it all around the cave, never for her to come back again. The world is a good place now with the sun deity. They live together happily ever after. Oshimai. The end. The world without the sun was a big deal. But me is no big deal. Time just passing by without me. 6, 7 days. I didn't have my voice back. My friend Marie told me her story. She chose her husband right after I did. To meditate, she used to go to golf at the sunrise. She will leave when it's still dark and then go to the water, and then she will just float and swim and just wait for the sun to come out. One day she smelled really rotten. The sun came up, she could see dead fish all around her, hundreds, thousands of them. That was a red tide. Instead of just getting out, she stayed there, completely floated, embraced it. And she said to herself, wow, I'm surrounded by death. Can't I embrace that peacefully like her? I found myself helplessly folding origami. The silence really comforted me. I immersed myself into the isolation. I knew origami would accept me. A straight crease I make, so kindly, straight and sharp. It's so nice. And as I get into an intricate form, I could forget everything. Once I met a high school student, Sam, when I was teaching Northern Florida countryside for the summer program. He was ninth grade. He was pretty good at origami. And he couldn't have enough. Even he came to my class every day. After the class, he wanted to fold more. So we did, and we became good friends. I couldn't help myself noticing something peculiar. In the middle of the summer, he wore long jacket, long sleeves, and he was missing a couple of front teeth. The classroom teacher, she told me that his father pressed lit cigarette bud onto his arms, all over. To hide scars, he wore the long jacket year-round. I didn't have to ask his front teeth. At the end of my residency, the whole week, he invited me to his foster home because he said he was gonna teach origami to the other kids. He said he will teach something very simple like a kite and maybe 2 different shapes. You gotta start from something simple, right? And everybody was having a good time. That's a whale. Or up, come on. You can have a good game time with origami. This was one of Sam's favorite origami because this is a basketball hoop. Miss Kuniko, when I'm folding, I forget everything. I like it a lot, and I do it a lot. So I thought maybe other kids like it too. Because I do all the time now, origami became me. Without it, maybe it's not me. Hundreds years ago, a paper was imported from China, and in that time, paper was very rare commodity, so only allowed emperor to use for ritual or as a token of faith. Then slowly develop as a playful hobby. In the last century, origami spread to the world, inspired engineers, scientists, and architects. One of the scientists, Dr. Koryo, developed this design by using mathematical formula. NASA used that folding principle, basic folding pattern, then developed to use for some deployable device for the spaceship program. This is my favorite. Solar puff. On the bottom, there's a solar battery, and it lights up. This big idea is in our body. DNA, the part of it is like origami, has a foldings, and the protein we intake has an interactive folding patterns. So if you know more about this folding, maybe we find a cure for the cancers and other disease. Foldings are inside of us. DNA origami patterns making us us. Without that, maybe humankinds are not here. I feel something divine in me, origami. During that time when I lost my voice, I folded and folded. Just like Sam, by folding so many, I was just get into it. And when I fold, I don't think too much anything. I forget everything. And like Marie, I was accepting the darkness. And I was happy. I was finding something like a light, like the sun deity coming out of the cave, pulled by her own beauty, because she had it inside of her. And it felt like that. I had it inside of me. I have something beautiful and empowering, the art of origami. My voice came back. Finally. And do you want to know what was my first word I said when my voice came back? It started out with F. Kuniko, how did you start origami? Like this? Well, my first origami was by my grandma. She used to make a harvest basket. My grandma was a farmer. She had a strawberry farm, rice field, and whenever she have a harvest, she put it in this rice paper basket and go to neighbors, exchange with eggs and different vegetables and fruits. I saw her working dawn to dusk, worked hard day after day. And almost she looked like she's putting into the soil with some part of her too. was so cool. You see, I lived in a big city, Osaka, and just for the summer vacation, I come to my grandma's place, which is very, very countryside at the foot of the mountain. And I wish I got to know her more, but I didn't. She died. But it's not too late. I have my mom and my uncle. I dug old family's album and I found this picture. I interviewed my mom and my uncle, asked about their childhood. It was a disaster. They didn't want to talk about it. They said, not much to talk about. Why? Our childhood and youth was taken away by the war. Oh. My mom went to the children's camp because World War was dropping the missiles and bombs in the city side. She had to go to a big temple on the island side. And my uncle went to the World War II. And I read about this here and there. I heard about it. Everybody know this. I wanted to ask, did you guys really believe that the emperor was God? And did you believe that it's an honor to die for the emperor in the war? My mom said yes. And she said, I was told that the emperor does not go to bathroom because he's sacred. What? You can laugh as much as you want. I think it's funny too. But back then, we were serious about that. My uncle said we were taught that way. The doctrine of the obedience to the emperor was a virtue. Doubting was a disgrace. Under the monarchy of Japan before 20th century, Japanese were just like that. When my uncle was wearing the brand new military uniform and then leaving for the war, it was a celebration. Everybody came to celebrate an honor for a young man to die for the emperor. My mom was 6 years old and he was 18 years old. And my mom clung to him. She didn't want him to go. You see, the father died very young. So my uncle, the oldest one, was like a father in a family. He adored the young sister like a baby girl. He called her baby girl, Akachan, and she adored him back. He was getting on the train. She hung on to his arm with her little hands. Didn't want to let go. And she sang the song loud instead of crying. お手手つないで夜道を行けばみんな over and over she sang it loud so that maybe he can hear it. かわいい小鳥になって歌う。靴が鳴る。6 years passed. Toward the end of the World War II, my uncle was on a New Guinea island fighting against England, Australia, and the native tribe that would kill anybody in a territory. They started out with 12 people, but now down to 3 people, including him. They were really losing it. And then they scattered around, and then they were at the Rabaulu, the northeast end of the entire island, away from the main camp. When Japan surrendered, they had to go back to the main camp. There's no vehicle left. They had to walk miles and miles and miles, miles and miles. One of the guy was attacked by the poison snake and lost his arm. To cross the mighty Uga mighty river, he drowned, died. And when they managed to cross the mighty river, the tribe was waiting for them. They were captured. Run! He ran and ran and ran. The another guy is not there. He was exhausted. It's been already 3 days of walk and 5-6 years of the war. He was just so exhausted, and he thought he was dying. And was he dying for the emperor? And even if he survived, was the emperor the reason to live? No. 違ったな. He looked up in the sky. Emperor was not, he was thinking, just one more step to go towards the main camp. And when he was looking at the sunset, bright orange and pink, he saw his baby girl's face. And the song, お手でつないで夜道を And he felt her little hands holding onto his arms. He stood up and he walked again all the way back to the main camp and returned. Thank you. ありがとう、おじさん. I want to hear more story. Can I? Hell I went through should not be out. I'll keep it right here and take it with me to hell. I wanted to make 1,000 paper cranes for him. Before I finished, he died. And I continue to fold for his wish, world peace. But you know what? I got better idea. Why don't I fold 1,000 of different origami designs for the next generation? For the better future.